not just opening the door, but opening the multiple doors that lie ahead because of the hurdles that will be overcome by knowing the English language. And if we can improve one person's life, one family's life, one community's life, the impact on the whole economy would be all that greater.
It opened my eyes when I became a franchisee to the number of Spanish-speaking people in Southern California that are stuck in the fast food industry because all they do is speak Spanish. And there's only certain jobs that they can do. They can be cooks, maybe they can be janitors or something. Well, there's this workforce which is really limited to that area of jobs because they don't speak English. And it's such where they can't really take the time to go to English language courses offered at colleges. So it was going to enable us with this English language program to really just benefit an entire group of our employees by teaching them English. It'd benefit their families, it'd benefit their kids. I mean, I have 500 to 600 employees and 80% of them are Spanish. And I'm turning over maybe 150 employees a year to 200 employees a year that are primarily Spanish speaking. I mean, it's just an enormous workforce here in Southern California. And really, as I speak with other Carl's Jr. franchisees up and down the state of California, you know, the vast majority of employees in fast food are Hispanic.
The goal of this program is to get all the employees that come through this program to actually pronounce and do better in English so they can work. It can help them in the workforce and in their own lives.
It's going to enable Spanish-speaking employees to move from what I call the back of the line as cooks to the front of the line, which are cashiers and shift leaders or managers and general managers. In order to have any of those positions, you absolutely have to be able to speak English and speak it well, because you're going to interact with guests, you're going to interact with vendors. So it really opens up an entirely new door for them to cross over and really advance in salary, advance in benefits. They can eventually become a general manager if they can speak English. And these are employees that are very loyal, are hardworking, and really knew our business.
The first phase of the program is approximately 12 weeks, 52 lessons. We learn all the sounds, the alphabet sounds, and we go into the double consonants, the A's, the R's. That builds up small vocabulary words, and eventually we move on to phase 2, which builds the bigger words in the sentences and so on and so forth. There's about 4 basic steps. They listen to it, which is audio, then they speak it, which is verbal, then they write it, which is visual, and they just pronounce it.
Say with me the sounds. The of works. Now repeat the sound this phonogram makes into the sono player. Listen to your voice making the sound. The of nurse.
The Sono audio system is it's basically like a little box that sits on top of like a disc, and they turn it on, and they can either use it with the audio system or without, and they go through the program. They pronounce. The speaker there is telling them how to pronounce what to do. They pronounce it, they speak back into it. They can actually record themselves so that they can hear the pronunciation, and then they can re-record until they get it exactly right. This program is meant for them to go back home with it and then practice at home between 15 minutes to 30 minutes a night. And they can do it by themselves, or they can do it with family members such as spouses or children, and it seems to be working. A lot of them do it with their children, and so that's helping them both, because the child is helping the parent and the parent's helping the child. In our first week, it basically was just an overview of the program. Most employees came into the program not knowing any English whatsoever. In the second week, we went through some of the phonics, and we studied a few of the sounds of the alphabet. We went through several of them, and we just kind of repeated it until we knew the sounds of the actual letters. In week 3, then we went on to studying the ABC. It's important that we know the ABC in English and not just in Spanish, so that we know the letters along with the sounds. Now we're in week 5, and I'm very proud of the employees that we have here. And now they know the alphabet, the sounds of the alphabet. They even know some numbers that we've reviewed and gone through. We're beginning to spell small words, dog, cat, and they're able to speak better English. And if I speak to them in English and they don't understand it, then I can translate it, and then we move on from there. So they're doing very, very good. From week 1 to week 5, it's tremendous progress.
We can, through the help of Coke, teach these people English. And that's just a great thing. And they are a very loyal group, Hispanics in Southern California. They're very loyal. So I think they've already, expressed gratitude that we're basically just saying, look, this is for you. This is to teach you English, teach your family English, and it's a great opportunity. So we really think it's going to, create loyalty to our company and to Carl's Jr. because it's, there's a little bit of the side of the community. I don't want to downplay that it's going to really help our business, but it is really going to help the community and these people outside of just our business.
Usually Hispanic households get together for a couple main things. Eating and praying. When it comes to schooling, at times since the parents do not know the English language, the children do not ask for help in their homework. If we position a program like this within the household, and the father or the mother can actually go through the program with their children, the bond and the unity that this would create is just a completely new category of, sharing moments, learning together, asking questions to each other, knowing a lot more about each other, understanding what their children are doing, understanding what their issues are. And I think it would be beautiful if we could actually give our little piece to really improve that family unity.
It's good for me because they help me for the pronunciation for me, for my family. I stay with my son, my husband, and I go to the school, but in the school I can learn the pronunciation, just the words and other things, but this is good for the pronunciation for me.
I expect great results at the end of the program. Obviously, I don't expect them to be fluent in English, but I do expect them to be able to go out into the world and just by basically looking at either a sentence or a letter, they can sound it out to the point where they can actually learn and comprehend what they're saying or reading.
This program is helping me to learn more about the pronunciation of the letters. And in my house, I was learning with my husband and my son. And I am learning more for my work, and I understand more the customers, the people.
The U.S. economy today, especially the California economy, is very dependent on this immigrant base. A lot of the workers are actually pushing the whole infrastructure from the ground up because they are giving their 100%. But the 100% of someone who doesn't speak English is only as good as so much. If that same 100% was given after they were taught English, that would just push the whole infrastructure, the whole economic and social standard of this country that much higher.